Hello. This is probably the brightest and the most. And of course, I have to flex. I have to share. Anyway. Happy New Year. Happy fucking New Year. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? It's 2026. I brought in this year a completely different way than I brought it in last year. Am I complaining about it? No. Not really, actually, but a part of me is more or less, or was more or less, a bit mournful, if that's even a word, about it, because like literally the people who I brought in the year with last year, I've cut off a lot of people last year. I've cut off a lot of people, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But Happy New Year. I'm not mad that I brought in this year in my home. I'm not mad about that at all. I brought it in with my guinea pigs. I treated myself to a bottle of Prosecco, you know? And there's so many to be grateful for. All that I've honestly let go, I've gained so much, so I really cannot complain. But this is just a short and sweet video that I just kind of feel like talking about because I just got finished crying a little bit, because I was just like, okay girl, stay on. I was just sweeping, I was just cleaning the living room, and I just folded a blanket that the last few days before my eldest guinea pig passed away, his name is Casper, we would hold him in this specific blanket, and you know, ever since he passed, I never really did anything with that blanket. I haven't even washed it because his hair is on it, and I just don't want to, and I just, I just got really sad about it. And also too, like, we have like a nice cute like little toy or whatever that looks like him. It's just like I guess I'll show you. This is it. We got it before he passed anyway, but this is it. So I saw this, and then folding that blanket, like, that was enough to take a gorilla out for a bit. But, then I started talking out loud, and I started, reflecting on all the lessons that he's taught me, and it's honestly, it's through him where I really began learning what love is, 100%. It was like over the years of having him and seeing him like in a confined space, because I do have like I hate the word cage. It's just like a pen, more or less. You can just like extend it as much as you like, and I try to make it as big as possible for them, but more or less it's just simply not enough, because I even know like myself as well too, like if I were if I were like, I wouldn't want to be confined. I don't like the idea of being confined myself, so much less, for these animals that you get at the store. I got him off of impulse. I know better now. I got him in 2020. I know better now. I wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't get an animal friend unless I can fully provide them. I have 2 other piglets, but I wouldn't do it again in the sense where I wouldn't get any other animal friends where if I know I can't fully provide them with the space that they need, but also the proper like care, like, because the vet bills. Anyway, it's really through him that I really began learning what like love is. Just seeing him in a confined space or whatever, like, it just, even like, it's just like not enough. When you really like love someone, you want them to really bloom, you want them to expand, you want them to be free, right? You want them to be free. You want them to be able to live the fullest that they possibly can, because it's what they deserve. And it's really through him that I learned that. And I was very sad that he passed, but also part of me was very much relieved because I knew that he was free. I've learned so much through him. Like, when I talk to my other piglets now, or when I talk to the birds, or when I talk to the cats that I take care of outside, like, I be talking to them like, like that baby talk, like, oh my god, how are you? You know what I mean? And it's like, before Casper, I could not do that. I could not be affectionate. And if I'm having a hard time being affectionate with if it's hard for me to really, if it was hard for me to like be affectionate outwardly like that, naturally it was hard for me to be affectionate to myself. And it's honestly, he was definitely like my first teacher. I have a C here for him. You know, but I'm so grateful for him. He was definitely my emotional support piglet. I remember sometimes like I'd come home after a convenience and I'd just hug him, and you know, he'd get tired of it eventually and push me off, like, you know, like my head off or whatever. But nonetheless, I'm so grateful for him. He's taught me so much. I love him so dearly. You know, I learned definitely 100%. I just wanted to make this video because, you know, I'm thinking about him and I love him very much. And it's easier for me to reflect on all the things that I've learned from him than just sulking about like how it just like all happened so fast. But even then, I remember like just being on the way to the vets. I wasn't even alone then, like along the route to the vets, because we did two vets. We did one and then we had to go to another one. The crows, we just kept seeing a whole bunch of crows. Bless you, BB. So I knew I wasn't alone even in those moments, which really added something. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I love you, Casper. And thank you for being my teacher. This is what I was talking about. If you allow nature to teach you, she will. Happy fucking New Year. I'm about to go cut my hair. I have to trim my hair. I went to the beauty supply store. They're fucking closed because it's fucking New Year's Day. But I'm ready to change this. I'm ready to change the color. It's time for trim and everything. What song that's stuck in my head right now is It's a Beautiful Day by Moby Grape, I believe.